It is time for a comic book room tour. Welcome to the Paper Chase channel. This is the 2024 comic book room tour. Look, it's not the biggest space out there, but guess what? I made damn good use of it. Not only am I going to showcase to you guys, what I have going on in the Paper Cave, but I'll also post links and prices and kind of tell you how I got things to look the way they look. And maybe you can use some of these hacks and things like that yourself if you're curious or want to try to do something similar in your space. So, we're going to start real simple and make our way to the good stuff. The inventory wall right here. So these are 9, really they're heavy duty storage shelves that I got from Lowe's. And they do not come this high, but you can buy them in individual sets like this. So what I did was I assembled each one of them and then carefully stacked it on top of the other. And then I zip tied them all together. Each one has probably 8 or 10 zip ties holding into the next shelf. This thing is super solid. This thing is not going anywhere, this entire wall here. So this is where the back stock goes for things that I will try to sell in the future. Links below for where I sell comics. We're going to have some sales soon. So here it is. That's the inventory wall. Let you get another look at that. And okay, now making our way over to the pressing station. One of the things that I love about this hobby is cleaning and pressing. The revival of all these books. So I got a little cubby compartment up here with all the cleaning and pressing materials, bags, backer boards, Swiffers, parchment paper, stuff like that. This thing right here is actually an entire movie. You can get any movie, and this is every single image in that movie condensed into this one thing. And this movie here is Back to the Future. And you'll see more of Back to the Future stuff as we continue on. Here's my presses. They are both the same brand, Tussie, and both of these were bought on Amazon. These will run you about $150 a piece. You can also look on Marketplace to see if somebody's selling them used, which is a lot cheaper, but you do have to make sure that they're calibrated correctly. Moving over to wall number 1 here. This I just added in. I get this little entertainment center on Amazon a while back. Just got a couple of PC short boxes in there, some trade stuff, a couple of slabs displayed. We've got Startling Comics. This is not a first print. This is a reprint. But it's not one of those facsimiles that really got printed a lot. This right here is actually a hardcover novel signed by Boris Vallejo, who did the art here. He's definitely one of my top artists. And that's signed by him. We got a Jason Edmiston art book. You'll see some of his artwork in a second. Weird Science number 9 and a 5.0 Wally Wood cover. Baffling Mysteries number 23 and a 2.5. Some good pre-code horror stuff. A Tomb of Terror, issue number 3 and a 3.0 there. And a Vault of Horror, issue 26 and a 2.5. So I like these because I can just kind of easily switch this display out when I want to look at something different. So kind of cool. Then we've got this gorgeous Spider-Man kind of panoramic art piece I got from Bottleneck Gallery. I will post the artist's name on the screen on any of these that I can think of. And then begins the Back to the Future memorabilia. You'll see a lot of it, a lot of this stuff going on here. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece I got at a Fan Expo down here. And same thing here. Jim Ferguson is the artist on this. So these are really cool. Switching over to some comics now. On this wall we've got a Spawn Comics number 228, 9.8, signed by Todd McFarlane. Marvel Zombies number 1, second print in a CGC 9.8. And then we've got Marvel Zombies number 3. That's a Hulk 340 homage in a 9.8. Tomb of Dracula number 1 in an 8.0. Giant Size Chillers number 1, First Lilith in an 8.0. Awesome. This is one of my favorite Marvel Zombies covers. This is the Abbey Road homage. And that is X-Men number 1 from 2013. And you got a Marvel Zombies number 1. Awesome cover by Arthur Sudam. Mexico foil variant reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15. And this is a print by Arthur Sudam, and he signed it here. I got this at local Fan Expo Comic Con last year. Cool Disney print. We're a pretty big Disney family. Awesome Trick or Treat. Mondo used to be really tight with their exclusives and their prints. I don't think that they are as much anymore. But some of these prints are really hard to get and really hard to find. You had to like be in the right place at the right time. This one, Halloween. Love the color tone on this. That entire feel is cool. Then we make our way down to some Star Wars stuff. Very important comic right here. This is the cover that got me collecting comics. Because I got into comics by reading Star Wars comics. I just wanted to know more in the Star Wars lore, and the further I dug, the more fun I had. I got a Dr. Aphra number 35 and a 9.8. I love this cover because it reminds me of my wife. Dr. Aphra, her look is, especially in this photo, is very akin to the woman I married. Rob Kaz, I think, is the artist on this. These were all bought in the Disney art store in downtown Disney. Except for this one, I bought this at a local con. Now, these are going to be the first of a few of these that I collect. These are called Eyes Without a Face. It's a certain series that Jason Edmonston does. And there's a ton of these. And some of these are super hard to get. And they're out of print. But I love these two, Iron Man with the mask and behind the mask. All right, quick insert here. Because I had to come back and answer a question I know a ton of people were going to ask. How am I getting all these slabs on the wall? How am I getting all these photos on the wall? Well, every single thing that you're seeing suspended is by command tabs. Now, I know what you're thinking. This could leave residue. This could maybe be not safe. Well, I get the 15-pound max capacity command tabs. Each slab has 2 of these on them. And maybe I'll do a tutorial video on how I get these to stick to the wall. But I can tell you I've never had a slab come off the wall from one of these failing. One time a slab slipped off the wall, and that was because of my failure to not Velcro them all the way in before I let go of the slab. Other than that, I have never had a problem with this. I've never had a problem getting them off the slab. There's no residue or anything like that. These are hung with hooks. But all the slab stuff, command tabs. It's perfect. It's seamless. It's safe. It's cheap. I'll do a video one day on how I do these to make them seamless and to where you're not going to damage the book or the wall. But yeah, there they are. We'll come back to the back wall first. Let's continue with the Eyes Without a Face stuff. So we got another one here. This is Norman Bates' mother. This is Darth Vader from the Kenobi show. One of the only good scenes in that show was from this scene right here, right at the end of their battle. This one from Midsommar, Blair Witch, The Shining, Friday the 13th, Part 3. This one's a little crooked, How Dare Me, Marty McFly, Back to the Future, and Tom Holland, Spider-Man. So I have more of these. I just need to get the frames for them. But I love these, and I want to eventually go across the top or just do an entire wall of these. So that's the right wall. That's the top section, Eyes Without a Face. I got a couple of Alfred Hitchcock prints here. Now we've got the mounted shelving system here. So this right here was bought on Amazon, and it wasn't too expensive, but it comes with just this kind of wooden brace that you drill into the studs, and then there's a groove on the back of the shelf, and you just hang it up. I installed the LED lights after I bought this, so this did not come with the lights. All the LED lighting that I bought is from Home Depot, and it's just the standard LED light strips, the white lights. And this was a little more complicated to do than this one here, but this one I did myself. So starting off on the top, I basically just like to swap out modern horror covers that I'm liking at the moment. And so these I just kind of display up here. So right now I've got Epitaphs of the Abyss, the most underrated horror Adam Hughes cover ever. This just came out last week. Shiver Suspense Stories #1. This is one of those, the more you look at it, the more you notice we're at the perspective of like the little brother or the older brother or sister, and then like the baby brother's freaking out like, are you going to do something? And then you just see like, that's crazy. Look at that. It's like a I Saw Mommy Killing Santa Claus type story there. I mean, nuts. Headless Horseman, Annual #1, Mark Spears. This, I got this right before the roof blew off of it. Now it's selling for almost $100. This is one of Mark Spear's earlier works that there's not a whole lot of. So that's recently doing something. Jenny Furs and Vampirella, Cruel Universe, awesome. I love these old school covers that kind of, are Wally Wood derived. These are really cool. And then we go into Tales from Space, issue number 8. This is the comic from Back to the Future. This is the comic here. It's a prop replica with the NECA Marty figure next to it. And then we've got Haunted Mansion, second print number 1. And a CGC 9.8. And then these are also from Mondo. These are the first 3 albums from Back to the Future. Not first 3. These are the 3 albums from Back to the Future. And they all have Mondo art prints on them. So those are really cool. Some trade paperbacks, a couple of Funko Pops. They Live, Hellraiser, Pinhead, Jason Voorhees. And this is actually Herbert West from Reanimator. And I made him. He is not for sale by Funko, so I got a blank pop, and I got clay, and I got all kinds of stuff, and I just made him. So that was a fun little project that I did a while back. And then we got a few books here. We've got Marvel Super Special Kiss. We got 2 raw copies and an 8.0. These 2 are from my buddy Joe from Kiss Comics that I'm going to press and send off to CGC. Desmond Hume from Lost, The Constant, one of the greatest TV shows episodes ever. Then we got a couple of slabs, Planet Comics number 1, Dave Stevens cover in a 9.8, and a Dazzler 33 in a 9.8. All right, more Mondo posters. So this one here is by Laurent Duro. This, I don't know what this is selling for now. This was out of print a long time ago. It's one of my favorite Back to the Future art pieces ever from Back to the Future 2. The art here is just so unique and cool and just has an amazing vibe. The vibe in this is actually very comic book-esque, with the dot matrices and all these line works and things like that. A very simple line work, but when you kind of back out, it looks way more detailed than what it is. And then when you zoom in, you kind of see how they do it with the dot matrix and things like that. Really cool art style. Laurent Duro. This one right here, Jaws 19. Kind of similar. This is 148 of 215. And yeah, this is just, I saw this and I had to get it. This is not Mondo though. I think this might be Bottleneck Gallery. A few slabs, Thundercats number 1, 9.4. This right here, if you're wondering what this mess is, this is actually cold presses. These are books that have been pressed, waiting to go to CGC, and they stay here until I'm ready for them to go in a cold press. There's a whole video on what's going on here and how I do this. Masters of the Universe, number 1, 9.6. Power Rangers, number 1, and a 9.8. All right, now the back wall. First, the floating shelves. All bought on Amazon. Installed them all pretty easily. Now, I did not install the lighting. I put up the shelves first, and then I had an electrician come and run the lighting. And it's the same lighting that's used here, but basically what they have to do is they have to... they ran it off an outlet that's actually in the attic, and then he had to weave through every single shelf. So there's a hole behind every single shelf, and the wiring is woven through there and then attached to the back strip of the shelf. Now, I can tell you over the past 2 years, they do tend to go out. They were actually going out, and I just replaced all of them a couple of weeks ago. So the way he did it, he left it to where all I have to do is detach from the back shelf, and I can just change out the strips easily. They are pretty nice. I love the vibe that they give off. With the remote here, I just change the setting so I can go super low. And if you turn the lights down, kind of gives you a different vibe there. All right, let's start looking at some slabs up here. We've got Spawn number 1 signed by Todd, 9.8. Then a Spawn 100 signed by Todd and Alex Ross. X-Men 129, 9.6. First Kitty Pryde, Emma Frost. X-Men Days of Future Past 141, 9.6, signed by Chris Claremont. Have a couple of very rare, hard to get Freddy comics in very high grade. Fright 3, first appearance of Freddy on a comic book, in a 9.6. And A Nightmare on Elm Street number 6. This is the final issue, very hard to get, especially a 9.6. This was the top of the census for a while, so I finally just got a 9.8. Werewolf by Night number 32 and a 6.5 custom label. House of Secrets 100 and a 9.6. That's actually a monster of a book. Quick insert right here. This back wall mounted desk here. This was something I actually made. And you can see just bought the wood from Lowe's, cut it to size, and put the trim on it, put the brackets on it, made these braces for it, attached it to the wall. It's super heavy duty. You could put multiple shore boxes on there. So this is not something that you could really buy. I did drill a hole here because I was going to put my computer on here, but then decided not to. So yeah, this was made. This is not something that, is for sale on Amazon or anything like that. Then we've got Spider-Man 300, 9.4, Secret Wars 8, 9.8, with the McFarlane statues that he's just started doing a few months back. And moving down, we've got a Tomb of Dracula number 18 and a 9.8, and a Tomb number 5 and a 9.8. Again, I do not buy any slabbed comics, but I do love to find them, clean them, press them, so very proud of these two here. Then we've got our Miles section, Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 and a 9.8, Miles' first ongoing series, an Ultimate Fallout 4 and a 9.8, and then a Marvel Previews 95, first cover appearance of Miles Morales, or preview appearance, which he actually came in a preview before this, but this was the big book. This set, one time during COVID, sold for like $11,000. I don't think it's at that anymore. There's actually no 9.8s on for sale, I don't think. And so super hard to get in this grade. Then we've got a Doctor Strange 169 and a 5.0, a Back to the Future second print signed by Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd in a 9.6. Moving up to some Spider-Man stuff. First Man-Wolf, ASM 124 in a 9.2. ASM 194, first Black Cat in a 9.0. Then we got Samurai Santa number 1, first Jim Lee artwork, signed by Jim Lee. This is a pretty major book. I think the last one of these that sold was for like $3,500 or so. Batman 423, signed by Todd, 9.6. Amazing Spider-Man 306, signed by Todd with the full Todd signature in a 9.8, and an ASM 252 9.4 custom label. And then, as far as the desk here goes, this was an older desk, got the shining mouse pad. This was an older desk that I actually bought these two pieces of wood. This was separate, these two pieces here. And then I married them in the middle, sanded it, stained it, coated it. This is like kind of like a butcher block that you can get at Lowe's. And then I attached it to the top of this old desk here, and happy with how it looks. So one of the cool things going on here in New Orleans in January is we have Fan Expo coming, and it's the biggest Fan Expo from the lineup that I'm seeing. All these books right here I'm going to get signed. You've got Andy Serkis is coming, so I'm going to get him to sign this first print of The Hobbit. Huey Lewis is coming. I'm going to get him to sign this copy of American Psycho and a couple of other copies, because this is the scene where he's listening to Huey Lewis in the news, and I just think that would be very unique and cool to get Huey Lewis to sign this book. Shamik Moore is coming, who voices Miles in the Sony animated Spider-Verse movies, and those are my favorite comic book movies, period. And so I'm going to get him to sign this Spider-Man number 2, number 1. And then I'm going to get the entire cast of Back to the Future. Yeah, every single person is coming. And this is the J. Scott Campbell variant cover, already signed by Campbell. But I'm going to get this signed by Leah Thompson, Tom Wilson, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Huey Lewis, and the other actors that are in the movie. Claudia Wells, who plays Jennifer, the actor that plays Strickland, Mayor Goldie Wilson, all of them. I'm going to get to sign this thing. And hopefully it comes back a 9.8, and it's gonna go definitely over here somewhere. So there it is, the Paper Cave, the comic book room tour 2024. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, always helps support the channel. If I don't see you before the end of the year, hope you have a great New Year's. See you guys on the next page.